YouTube fans, my name is Leo and welcome back to another video of Super Santa Client. In this video, we're going to be talking about a criminal who escaped prison 3 times, including once by mail from a maximum security penitentiary. Also, the lake behind me is Lake Saranac, and I'm still on vacation, even though this is my first video in a while. But before we get any further into this video, we are close to 50 subs with 42, but our growth rate is slowing down, so why not hit that subscribe button to continue my growth towards 50. And also, if you enjoy the video, please don't forget to leave a like and a comment. But now for today's video. So, everyone loves a good prison escape story, and one guy, to his brother, was what he said was the smartest he'd ever met, but he made a bad choice. The guy who we're talking about is Richard Lee McNair. He was born in North Dakota with his brother, and he then made a bad choice in his 30s. He robbed a storage grain facility, so that put him in Minot County Jail. Little did the detectives and the police over there know that he had lip balm, which broke him out of the handcuffs and ultimately made him escape. During that time, he then was now testing the help of the local cops. So he was surrounded when he climbed up a hotel. And he made another terrible decision. He jumped down, hoping he would land on a nearby tree. Unfortunately for him, the branch broke, and he was hurt, giving the police a chance to arrest him and put him in the Ward County Jail. Eventually, he would escape that one via the ventilation. Then he was transferred, after escaping when he was recaptured, to an Oak Park Heights, Minnesota Correctional Center. In fact, nobody has ever escaped that center. So, after a protest, he was transferred over to the USP Colorado Correctional Center near Denver. Then, when he realized it was unlikely to escape, he was ultimately transferred to Louisiana State Penitentiary. This is a really feared place for prisoners, but he actually would end up escaping this in his best escape ever. So, what would he do? Eventually, he would mail himself out of prison. He asked them to mail him. He knew that the authorities would be aware of his escape by 4 p.m., and the mail was being shipped at the start at 9:45 a.m. Eventually, it would arrive near the grounds of his house and his family in Oklahoma by 11 a.m. This would give him time to make his run. He used stolen cars to escape. However, eventually, an officer named Carl Doyce confronted him when he was thought as the escapee. However, McNair eventually convinced him that he was just a jogger, and he was just living in a hotel. So he went by an alibi. He lied about his name being Robert Jones. Unfortunately, when his name was asked 5 minutes later again, he said Jimmy Jones. Fortunately for him, though, the officer did not notice him, and he eventually went. The officer even said, "Be careful on the railroad tracks in North Dakota," as he was there. When he got away, he drove into Canada from Blaine, Washington, and he drove several miles in it. For example, he even went from Ontario to Vancouver in his getaway car. He wanted to buy land in the grounds of the Canadian province of British Columbia, but a beetle-infested forest stopped him from doing that, so he had to continue getting away. He eventually crossed from Minnesota into the U.S., and then went over back to Canada eventually. He nearly crossed back into the U.S. near Derby Line, Vermont, but he knew he would be caught, so he stayed in Canada and got away eventually. He stole some more cars. He even did something really brave, something he would not expect. He even wrote a greeting card to the warden of his prison that he was in before, during Christmas. But the story does not end here. He was still trying to avoid recapture, and in a stolen car, he made homemade windows someone noticed some suspiciously looking car. It had seemingly homemade windows. This was strange. By the way, his car looked pretty expensive. And how did he get that cash? He stole some money and knew how to steal some cars in that way with the money. So then he was almost captured by a cop in Canada, but he managed to outrun them with his half-fast running, which made him very suspicious. He was also seemingly a guy who the U.S. Marshals added to a TV show called America's Most Wanted, and he was on the 15 Most Wanted list. But how would he get captured? He would eventually get captured. So, in 2016, McNair was captured over in Canada. Now, he resides in a prison called ADX Florence, a supermax prison where you cannot see where you are in a prison because of it's in the mountains. Therefore, it is nicknamed the Alcatraz of the Rockies. Now, he resides there with 23 hours a day in his cell in the prison. So, now, he's in a supermax prison. It is really unlikely for him to escape. That's why he was put into this prison, which is obviously a supermax prison, as I said. So this is all the information you have for this video. Bye, and I'll see you next time.